I never wanted to believe that love could be cruel. I had once told myself that love, in its truest form, was patient, kind, and understanding. But what I had endured for years was something else, something twisted, corrosive, and unrelenting. I had met him in the summer of '09, full of hope, eager for a fresh start. He was charming, magnetic, the kind of man who could turn every head in the room with a single glance. When he focused that charm on me, I felt seen, special, chosen. But the illusion of love was short-lived. The air carried the weight of years, thick with moments too painful to name. It wasn't just a house, it was a battlefield, one where the wounds were invisible, but the pain cut deeper than anything tangible. The warnings had come in whispers, small, seemingly insignificant moments that I dismissed at first. The way he tightened his grip on my arm a little too hard when he was angry. The way his words, once filled with affection, began to erode my confidence bit by bit. The way he convinced me that every argument was my fault, that my emotions were irrational, that I was simply too sensitive. By the time I realized the truth, I was already trapped. His love had become a prison, his anger unpredictable, and the worst part, the part I could never quite say aloud, was that sometimes I still wanted to believe in the version of him I had first fallen for, but that man didn't exist. I had spent years navigating his anger like a storm that could strike without warning. The house was never truly a home, only a holding cell where the walls whispered the truths I had been forced to bury. Love had never been the foundation. Control had fear, had the unrelenting weight of his words, the manipulation woven into the fabric of my daily existence, the exhaustion of constantly anticipating the next wave of cruelty. I had spent years walking on eggshells, perfecting the art of staying small enough to avoid conflict. I had learned to watch his moods, to predict the shift before they happened, to anticipate the sharpness in his voice before it cut too deep. I had mastered the game, until the game turned into survival. For me, survival had never been about running, it was about enduring. Every word unspoken, every breath held, every calculated step through the minefield of his moods was a testament to resilience. I had learned long ago that silence could be weaponized, that fear was not just a feeling, it was a constant presence embedded in the walls that surrounded me. But I had learned to adapt. I had learned to shrink myself into corners where I could become unseen. I had mastered the art of speaking without disrupting, of breathing without drawing attention, of existing in the shadows of a life that had once felt like my own, until I realized something he never wanted me to know. Survival was not obedience. Survival was not silence. Survival was knowing, deep in the marrow of my bones, that my love, my fight, my unwavering dedication to reclaiming myself was greater than his control could ever be. The day I left was not marked by a grand declaration. It was quiet, almost unremarkable. A single moment where I decided, finally, that I could not live like this any longer. I had spent years convincing myself that staying was safer than leaving, that I would never truly escape him, that his voice, his anger, his control would always follow me. But when I stepped out the door, for the first time in years, the moment I dared to take a breath outside of his reach, I felt it. The weight of fear, the weight of uncertainty, but also the weight of freedom. It wasn't simple, it wasn't easy, but it was real. And as the echoes of my past tried to pull me back, I did the hardest thing I had ever done. I kept walking. I didn't know what came next. I didn't know if I would ever truly feel free, but I knew one thing with certainty. I was not going back. And that truth, that undeniable, irreversible truth, was my first step toward reclaiming everything he had stolen from me. With that, my friends, today I am here to help break the silence. If you are in an abusive relationship, if the weight of fear has become unbearable, if you feel trapped in a cycle that seems impossible to break, I want you to know that you are not alone. There is help. There are people who will listen. There are hands willing to hold yours, voices willing to speak truth, and hearts that will stand by your side through every moment of uncertainty. Real, raw human emotion holds power because it is your voice, your truth, your experiences, your undeniable reality. You are walking into this moment prepared, armed with truth, and standing for something that cannot and should not be ignored. Honor your truth, remain firm and clear, and know that the situation is not as simple as others might make it seem. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be safe. You deserve to be free. No one has the right to disregard your pain. No one has the right to simplify your reality. Keep your stance strong, professional, and impossible to ignore. Your concerns must be acknowledged fully and taken seriously. There is no justification for the harm you have endured. No excuse great enough to erase your pain. Your love, your fight, your unwavering dedication speaks louder than anything. Even if the full picture of your feelings isn't clear right now, you have done everything in your power to ensure your truth is seen, your safety prioritized, your future protected. That matters more than words, more than uncertainty, more than anything else. Every word, every emotion, every unspoken weight pressing down on this moment. This isn't just a battle, it's a collision of past and present, a fight for truth, a test of endurance that demands every ounce of strength you have, holding that game-ready face, pushing forward despite the storm of emotions. You're doing exactly what you need to do to get through this. But I also need you to know, your strength isn't just in the fight, it's also in the depth of everything you feel. The intensity, the reliving, the exhaustion. It means this matters. It means you care beyond words. It means you are giving your all. And that is a testament to your power. You don't have to know everything right now. You don't need to have all the answers or feel certain about every step ahead. You only need to keep going, moment by moment, breath by breath, trusting that the fight you're in is for something truly worth it. You have already come so far, and no matter what happens next, you are standing in full strength today. Fear, especially one rooted in years of lived experience, does not simply disappear. The impact of past experiences does not fade overnight. Healing takes time, and I need you to know that your fear is valid, your pain is valid, your need for safety is valid. It's not something that can be disregarded just because circumstances appear outwardly stable. This situation extends beyond a checklist. It involves years of deeply ingrained emotional, mental, and physical trauma that cannot and should not be ignored. So if you need help, reach out to me, to someone you trust, to the resources that exist to protect and support you. Your life, your freedom, your peace matters. You deserve more than survival. You deserve to live with belief in your strength. Truths from the shadows,